Good afternoon. Just now leaving Garnett, Kansas. Had some pretty good Mexican food. Probably should have just chilled out a little while to digest it, but I was feeling antsy, so I wanted to get back on the road. First, 40 miles of the ride today was crazy rural. They are harvesting corn right now, so it was pretty much just me and real big harvesters on some super chunky gravel roads. It's pretty cool because often you'll look down and it looks kind of like somebody spilled popcorn basically everywhere. Anyways, leaving Garnett, I've got about 26 miles on this on another rail trail. Looks a lot like the Katy Trail actually. So that's what I'm on now. I should be pulling in to the campsite tonight at around 70 miles, which will be nice. There is a wind coming up from the south, so if I wasn't on this rail trail, I think I would be getting a really hard headwind, difficult to cope with. But because I'm completely covered with these trees, I think it's going to be pretty easy and pretty enjoyable. Anyways, just thought I'd give you a little update. Have a good one. Good morning. I am just on the outskirts leaving the town of Eureka, Kansas. Had a great stay at, a real vintage 1940s, 1950s motel last night. It was the cheapest option, had air conditioning, and I was really pretty stoked. Yesterday was an awesome day. No real trouble with the winds. Hauled ass. Got to where I needed. But basically, towards the afternoon, I was getting cooked from the sun. So it was a real joy to wake up this morning and find the weather just a little bit cooler. It's in the low 60s so far. It'll get to 90 today, but as you can see, it's super foggy, which is really weird. I stopped at a gas station, and a lot of the locals were a little bit perplexed by this fog. So today I've got a couple options, and it's all wind dependent, as everything in Kansas is. I can either go to the town of El Dorado. I can also go a little bit further and make it an 80-mile day and be a little closer to my destination. The only issue with that is that everything, especially the bike shops, are all closed Sunday and Monday. So I'm gonna need to do a rest day at the bike shop anyway, because I really need to replace one of my tires. So there's really no rush. There's very little reason for me to push too hard. So I'm just gonna kind of freestyle it. There's a big hill, probably the biggest hill that I've seen in a week or two, coming up, but I think it's gonna be I hope it's gonna be a nice, gentle, easy grade. right, good morning, you guys. I had a pretty great day yesterday. Super foggy, super cool. It was just like, after many days of just getting toasted by the sun, to wake up and have some pretty thick fog was A, a little scary, but B, it just felt so good on the skin. Had some like really good climbing too. Went up 2,500 feet yesterday over the course of 35 miles, which it was pretty good. And I enjoyed it. It was great. Stopped in a little town called El Dorado. The campground was full on it because it was a Saturday. A lot of the hotels were full except for the crappiest one. So I stayed at the crappiest one. It wasn't that bad. Happy to be here out on the road though. This area, just looking at you guys, it is so beautiful. So far Kansas has been a real treat, and you'll be able to see as we go by this flag, I've been getting sort of a half tailwind, half crosswind, depending on which way I'm headed. So right now I'm headed north, but these roads, they don't go diagonal, they're like a grid. So if you want to make northwestern progress like I do, you go a little bit north and then a little bit west and then a little bit north. So right now I'm enjoying a nice tailwind, but soon it'll be that crosswind. I'm passing by a really, really cute house right now that's for sale. There's an auction for it. Look at this. Cute little house. I'd live there. I would definitely live there. That's beautiful. Anyways, today is a day of options. So I don't need to make any miles. That's because it's Sunday and I have an appointment to get a new tire, which I pretty desperately need, on Tuesday. So unless I want to take a double rest day or a 1.5 rest day, there's no real reason for me to push. But if I keep getting favorable winds like this, I'm going to want to keep pushing. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I've got an option today for a 45, for around 55, and another one for an 85. I hope everybody out there is doing great. I'm doing really good out here, keeping an eye on the weather conditions up in the Rockies. It looks like it's getting kind of cold on the latter part of the 10-day forecast, so I'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully by the 14th day it starts to warm up a little bit. Another thing I'm really hoping is that this over here to my west isn't bad storms. It shouldn't be. I think it's just because it's morning time, but I don't know. Being in Kansas, it's always a little freaky when you start seeing clouds and stuff. I'm like maybe 15 miles into my ride this morning. So good morning, everyone. Just getting on the road. We're maybe 5 miles in. Gorgeous day. We camped last night in a place called Nest City. It was what I would describe as like a big town for this part of Kansas because it had more than one gas station. And that's kind of all you need. If you're a really small town, if you've got no gas station, you're a medium size if you've got one gas station and that's it. And you're a big town if you've got 2 gas stations. Yeah, it was a really pretty town. There was like brick streets and there was a free city park to camp in. It was pretty comfortable too. I'm gonna wait for this truck to pass. This part of Kansas is ridiculous. I feel like when you look down the horizon, you're likely looking 50 or 60 miles away in all directions. It feels pretty eerie. There's still some evidence of some farming, but for the most part, this is open prairie that I think is pasture land for cattle. Not seeing like a lot of plowed fields. There's certainly no corn, which is what I was expecting to see, just like endless fields of corn. I'm riding along with my friend Ron. We're doing pretty good, and spirits are high because compared to yesterday, there's basically no wind. Whereas yesterday, I had about 65 miles of virtually non-stop headwind. It was really taxing. Anyway, we'll check in with you guys later. Hope everyone's doing great out there. I'm just gonna enjoy this for a while. Just lay back and enjoy some easy pedaling. Bye. Good morning, you guys. Just now leaving Scott City. I got kind of an early start. I didn't sleep very well, but we did get a really pretty comfortable motel room last night. As we were pulling into town, 2 things happened. One, the weather started looking like it was gonna dump. We had like some 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts and some dark skies. It only rained a little bit, but the second part of it is I was just exhausted from the sun. I'm finding lately that, I don't want to talk too much about this, but I'm finding lately that my legs and my body are not getting tired, but the sun, the constant sun has really just been wearing me out and exhausting me. So it was nice to take a break and sit in some AC. Just a sec. So what's awesome is that tonight we need to stay in another motel after some short mileage because there are some big storms coming through. We're expecting about 2.5 inches of rain overnight in this area, which is great for everyone who lives here. They've been really hoping for some rain because it's been really dry. Obviously for us, I'm not too excited about putting my tent away when it's raining in the morning. So there's a cheap motel up here, and what's nice is that with Ron with me, we can actually split those costs. So, you know, like a $40, $50, $60 hotel room becomes a $20, $25, $30 hotel room, which is pretty great. Anyways, I'm gonna just let you look at this pink sky one more time. It's pretty beautiful, and we'll check in a little later. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday morning, about 7:30. We are on the very western edge of Central Time, so 7:40 whatever here looks like 6 everywhere else. But in only just a few miles, maybe 15, 20 miles, we'll be crossing into Mountain Time. Super nice this morning is if you like cold weather. It's 51 degrees, winds coming from the north, which is not ideal, but it's better than yesterday, and I'm super thankful for that. Dealing with headwinds can really take a psychological toll, and when it shifts just a little bit, like it did this morning, it makes me feel a lot more positive for the day, and I am pretty positive today. If all goes to plan, we'll be hitting right around maybe the 40-mile mark. We'll be crossing over into Colorado. And while I expect it to look exactly the same as this, that's a real psychological win. There's maybe it's just me, but when I think of Philadelphia to Kansas, it doesn't nearly have the same ring as Philadelphia to Colorado. And I know that's a symbolic thing, but when you've got nothing else to think about out here, little symbols like that can sometimes become important. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. There's really not much to look at here. So maybe I'll check in with you guys later, maybe I won't. If I don't, it's not because I don't care, it's just because this is a 365-degree, completely flat brown horizon. And I think for the most part, objectively that sounds horrible, but when you're out here in it, there's a real fascination. There's a real sense of wonder at the scales of what's on the horizon there that, I don't know, it's just special. It's hard to describe. I'm kind of at a loss for words to describe what it's like to be out on a bicycle in these wide open landscapes, which if you've ever passed through on a car, sometimes can, and even in a car, it can feel like a never-ending plateau. Out here on a bike, it's something even a couple clicks more magical than that. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. Like I said, I was going to a couple minutes ago. We'll check in later. See ya.